The Atlanta Police Department is pleased to announce it has made an arrest in the shooting of 2 juveniles following a high school football game at the Lakewood Stadium on August the 17th. The Atlanta police investigators were able to develop enough probable cause to secure arrest warrants for a 15-year-old juvenile. He is currently in custody at the Metro Regional Youth Detention Center here in Atlanta. As you may recall, on the night of August 17th, following a high school football game between Mays and Carver High Schools, Isaiah Payton, 12 years of age, Damian Spear, 15 years of age, were outside of the Southeast Atlanta Stadium when they were both struck by gunfire. Spears was treated and released for his non-threatening injuries. However, unfortunately, Payton was wounded by gunfire, which left him paralyzed from the waist down. He will require long-term disability care as a result of his injuries. Investigators believe that the suspect was firing at another individual, which struck Payton and Spear, who were not the intended targets. It appears that more than one shooter is involved in this incident, so that we are encouraging the public. We are strongly urging you to call Crime Stoppers and to provide the necessary information needed in order to bring the other shooters involved to justice. We encourage you to understand, this is just not kids, these are our kids. And so we need your support in this effort. As you know, as you recall as well, we have billboards that have been erected. One was erected on October 7th, and we have another one that's going to be erected on October the 28th. And the reward stands at $10,000. If you know anything, you can still remain anonymous, but we need your support.
So just last week, the chief, I believe, said this investigation had hit a brick wall. What changed?
Again, the tenacity of the investigators working this case endless, and we received information that have brought us to this day.
So since you got some information, is anybody getting the $10,000 reward?
This information that we received did not come from the Crime Stoppers tip line. That's why we're encouraging the public. There is someone else involved, and we need your support. Call the line. We need you to understand that these are children. And Isaiah Payton, he's affected for the rest of his life. His family has been impacted for the rest of their lives. We need your help.
What was the break that led to an arrest?
Excuse me?
What was the break that led to an arrest in this case?
Again, our investigators doing their work, and they're getting the information needed for us to be able to effect an arrest.
You said there may be 2 shooters. Could there be 3 or 4, based on what I'm hearing from people out there? Could there be more than 2?
It could be. That's why we need our community to be involved. If you know something, say something. If you see something, even if you believe that it's minute, nothing is minute at this point. We gotta make sure that we're saving lives and that we're keeping everyone safe.
If our shooter is 15 years old, is he an Atlanta Public School student, or is he in school anywhere, or was he in school?
We can't give pertinent information at this time as it relates to the shooter, but again, we want to make sure that we have a close investigation and we're doing our part, but we need the community to still give us information that is needed to make sure that this case comes to a complete close and that we have all shooters involved.
What can you share about 15-year-old with the gun in the shooting? Do we know what the source of the gun was? Is an adult being investigated on possible charges for the gun? And
at this time, we can't reveal that information as far as the investigation. But again, we know that this is an act that was reckless.
And do we have any idea on the other shooter or shooters that were involved here? Do we believe that they're also juveniles or adults? And
again, we need that information. And if anyone knows any additional information, we need for them to call Crime Stoppers and provide that to us.
Will he be tried as an adult?
Right now, I can't speak to the judicial process at this moment, but again, he is 15 years of age, and this is concerning that we have a juvenile at this age who has in possession of a gun and who used it in a reckless manner. And again, this could have been a loss of life. And one individual, one child, life is changed. And we need to send a strong message that our youth should be able to go to a football game, should enjoy events in peace with their family, like we've done as we grew up. And so again, the Atlanta Police Department is dedicated in making sure that we keep all of our kids safe and our community as a whole.
Is the suspect cooperating, and if so, has he given you any information about what may have led to that?
Again, We can't provide any additional detailed information at this time in our investigation.
Does the juvenile have a history at all?
We can't provide that as well.
Okay.
Do we know if this gang related to gangs shooting at each other?
We don't know the motive behind this incident at this moment, again, but the reckless conduct between the shooter and the shooters that are involved, we need to make sure that we bring everybody to justice on this.
So could it be gang related?
Right now, we cannot speak on that as far as any correlation between gang violence, but we know that this is just violent and it's reckless, and it involves our youth, and so this is concerning.
Was there any message or reaction from Isaiah Payton's family? I assume they've been notified of the arrest made?
The mother was notified, Ms. Woods, and she was relieved. She had a sigh of relief that came from her. However, she does understand that this investigation is still active, and again, she wants everyone involved that hurt her baby, hurt her child.
Do we know if this shooter was the one that hit Peyton?
Again, we can't go into details as it relates to our investigation.
How's Isaiah doing? You know?
Isaiah, from Ms. Woods, she indicated again that he's having some challenging days, as you can imagine. Some days that he is angry because of the process and where he is right now. But again, he's working through it. He's going through the therapy, and we're going to help him get through this as best we can as an agency to support him and his family.
And the second kid was just treated and released. Has he been helpful in the investigation?
Again, we can't get into the pertinent information, but we're glad that he didn't have any life-changing injuries.
There was no surveillance. You guys have not turned up any surveillance of any of the incidents?
Again, we can't go into the pertinent information of our investigations at this moment.
Maybe we ask you this, but the 15-year-old, was he remorseful at all?
We can't reveal that as well, as far as with any kind of dialogue or exchange. But again, we are strongly encouraging the community to be involved. These are our children, and we're asking that everyone, please, if you know something, say something, call the line. Again, give the information needed to help our investigators continue to do their job.
As far as
the task force affected the arrest, right?
That's correct.
Can
Yes,
you say
without
anything about
incident.
what went into that? I mean, did they have was there a struggle put up? Can you say anything about what happened?
Where was he at the time he was arrested?
The arrest of the suspect involved it went without incident. We're fortunate for that. The officers didn't have to exert any force at all, and again, the suspect in custody as well. And so we're appreciative of that the arrest was effected without any incidents. We can't get involved, but we can't state exactly where he was arrested. But again, he is in custody, and this investigation is ongoing.
as far as the public's help, whatever led to this arrest, is there still leads or information from that that's being chased down, or is it back to the point where sort of you're at a dead end now? You made one arrest, but you need the public's help on further arrests.
We continue to work every lead that we can possibly get, every lead possible. But the best avenue that you all can utilize in the public and to stress to our community as a whole is to call Crime Stoppers. Call that tip line and provide the necessary information in order to make sure that you remain safe, your community remains safe, and that APD can continue to do its job.
We've seen in the past where some kids involved in violent crime, they get arrested and released. Is that a concern in this case?
It's always a concern in this case because, again, we also too want to make sure that those individuals or those juveniles that are involved in violent activity, that stops. We don't want them to continue to perpetrate this particular behavior. So again, we want the behavior to cease. So we'll be watching this case, like all of our cases, closely. But again, when it concerns our youth, we got to make sure that our eyes are open. Our eyes are open to every avenue to make sure that this particular crime does not continue to happen. It can't happen. It shouldn't happen.
Did this 15-year-old have a court appearance today?
Again, we can't get into the details about that at this moment, but again, we're appreciative to our investigators for putting in the work and being dedicated to this case.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up, guys.